NASA is the United States Space Agency responsible for space exploration. It was established in 1958. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It was created during the space race era. Its main goal is to explore space and advance science. NASA replaced the earlier NACA organization. The agency focuses on aeronautics and space research. NASA has helped humans understand the universe better. It develops spacecraft for exploration missions. It also conducts scientific research on Earth and in space. NASA works with international space agencies. It collaborates with private space companies. The agency has made many historic achievements. It plays a major role in modern space technology. NASA's missions include human spaceflight and robotic exploration. It studies planets, stars, and galaxies. NASA uses satellites to observe Earth. These satellites help monitor climate change. NASA also improves communication and navigation systems. It trains astronauts for space missions. The agency built advanced rockets and spacecraft. NASA has sent missions beyond Earth orbit. It has explored the Moon, Mars, and other planets. NASA is known for innovation in science and engineering. It inspires students to study science and technology. The agency conducts experiments in space. NASA's research helps improve life on Earth. It studies weather patterns and natural disasters. NASA's work supports global scientific progress. It has launched hundreds of space missions. NASA uses space telescopes for deep space observation. It has discovered new planets and stars. NASA's missions often last many years. It uses robotic spacecraft for distant exploration. NASA helps expand human knowledge of space. The agency improves rocket propulsion systems. It develops new technologies for space travel. NASA has contributed to aviation advancements. It supports space station operations. NASA is a leader in space innovation. It encourages international cooperation in space. NASA shares data with scientists worldwide. The agency studies the solar system. It also explores the origins of the universe. NASA has sent probes beyond our solar system. It collects data from distant space environments. NASA helps design future space missions. It tests equipment in extreme conditions. The agency improves astronaut safety. NASA develops spacesuits and life support systems. It plays a key role in scientific discovery. NASA continues to push space boundaries. It supports exploration for future human settlement. NASA has changed how humans view space. It inspires curiosity about the universe. The agency has achieved many firsts in space history. NASA continues to grow in capability and reach. It uses advanced computers and simulations. NASA contributes to global scientific knowledge. It remains central to space exploration efforts. NASA's work impacts both science and technology. It helps prepare for deep space exploration. The agency's mission is ongoing and evolving. NASA continues to explore new frontiers. It remains one of the most important space agencies in the world. NASA's Apollo program was one of its most famous achievements. It aimed to land humans on the Moon. The program was developed during the 1960s. It was part of the United States space race with the Soviet Union. Apollo 11 was the most historic mission. It launched on July 16, 1969. The spacecraft carried Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. Neil Armstrong became the first human to walk on the Moon. He stepped onto the lunar surface on July 20, 1969. His famous words were, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Buzz Aldrin joined him shortly after. Michael Collins remained in orbit around the Moon. The mission was a huge success for NASA. It proved that humans could travel beyond Earth. The Apollo program used powerful Saturn V rockets. These rockets were the most powerful ever built at that time. NASA trained astronauts for years before missions. The training included simulations and survival skills. Apollo missions collected moon rocks and soil. These samples helped scientists study the Moon's origin. NASA conducted a total of 6 successful moon landings. Apollo 12 followed Apollo 11. Apollo 13 faced a major in-space failure. NASA successfully brought the crew safely back to Earth. This showed NASA's problem-solving ability. Apollo 14 continued lunar exploration. Apollo 15 introduced a lunar rover. The rover allowed astronauts to travel farther on the Moon. Apollo 16 expanded scientific experiments on the Moon. Apollo 17 was the final Apollo Moon mission. It marked the end of the Apollo program in 1972. The Apollo program improved space technology significantly. It advanced rocket design and engineering. It also improved communication systems in space. NASA learned how to support human life in space. The missions helped develop space navigation systems. Apollo inspired generations of scientists and engineers. It became a symbol of human achievement. The moon landing was watched by millions of people. It united the world in excitement and wonder. NASA gained global recognition after Apollo 11. The success increased funding for space programs. Apollo missions provided valuable scientific data. They helped understand the moon's surface and geology. NASA used Apollo technology for future missions. The program demonstrated international prestige for the USA. It proved that space exploration was possible for humans. The Apollo program pushed technological innovation. It improved computer systems used in spacecraft. NASA engineers solved many technical challenges. The program required teamwork between thousands of people. Scientists, engineers, and astronauts worked together. Apollo missions expanded human imagination. They changed how people view Earth and space. NASA's success increased interest in space science. It influenced education in science and technology fields. Apollo created a foundation for future space missions. It remains one of NASA's greatest achievements. The moon landing is a milestone in human history. NASA proved that long-distance space travel is possible. The Apollo program showed the power of innovation. It highlighted human courage and determination. NASA continues to study Apollo mission data. The program remains a symbol of exploration success. Apollo changed the future direction of space exploration forever. NASA launched the Space Shuttle program in 1981. It was designed to create reusable spacecraft. The first shuttle was named Columbia. The Space Shuttle system included an orbiter, solid rocket boosters, and an external fuel tank. NASA aimed to make space travel more cost-effective. The shuttle could carry astronauts and cargo into orbit. It allowed repeated trips to space. The program lasted for 30 years. It ended in 2011. NASA used 5 operational orbiters. These were Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. Each shuttle had unique missions. The shuttle supported scientific experiments in space. It helped deploy satellites into orbit. It repaired damaged satellites. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched using a shuttle. NASA astronauts conducted spacewalks from the shuttle. The shuttle contributed to building the International Space Station. It transported modules and equipment to orbit. The program advanced human spaceflight knowledge. The shuttle allowed long-duration missions in space. NASA improved safety systems through shuttle missions. The Challenger disaster in 1986 was a tragic event. It led to major safety improvements. The Columbia disaster in 2003 was another tragedy. NASA reevaluated safety procedures after it. Despite challenges, the program continued successfully. The shuttle completed over 130 missions. It carried thousands of scientific experiments. The program supported international cooperation. Astronauts from many countries flew on the shuttle. It helped train astronauts for future missions. The shuttle improved robotics used in space. It included the robotic arm, called Canadarm. The arm helped move objects in space. NASA used the shuttle to study Earth from orbit. It helped observe weather systems and climate change. The shuttle contributed to medical research in microgravity. Scientists studied how the human body reacts in space. The program helped develop space station technology. It supported construction of the ISS modules. NASA gained experience in orbital assembly. The shuttle improved spacecraft engineering design. It introduced reusable spacecraft concepts. NASA learned how to refurbish and reuse orbiters. The shuttle era expanded space science capabilities. It allowed larger payloads than earlier spacecraft. NASA improved communication systems through shuttle missions. The program advanced heat shield technology. It helped improve rocket propulsion systems. The shuttle inspired global interest in space exploration. It was a symbol of American space leadership. NASA used the shuttle for nearly 3 decades. It played a key role in space infrastructure development. The program supported hundreds of astronauts. It enabled groundbreaking scientific discoveries. The shuttle helped maintain satellites in orbit. It expanded human presence in low Earth orbit. NASA learned important lessons about space safety. The program contributed to future deep space missions. It influenced modern spacecraft design. The shuttle demonstrated reusability in space systems. NASA ended the program after completing its goals. The shuttle remains a major achievement in history. It paved the way for modern space exploration programs. NASA plays a major role in the International Space Station program. The International Space Station is a large laboratory in space. It orbits Earth at low Earth orbit. Construction of the ISS began in 1998. NASA worked with international partners to build it. Countries like Russia, Japan, Canada, and Europe contributed. The ISS is continuously inhabited by astronauts. It serves as a research facility in microgravity. Scientists study biology, physics, and astronomy there. NASA uses the ISS to test long-duration space travel. The ISS helps prepare for future Mars missions. Astronauts live and work on the station for months. NASA studies how space affects the human body. This research helps improve astronaut health. The ISS supports hundreds of experiments each year. It also helps develop new technologies. NASA uses robotic missions to explore distant worlds. These missions are cheaper and safer than human travel. Mars rovers are among NASA's most famous robots. The Spirit and Opportunity rovers explored Mars in 2004. They studied rocks and soil on the Martian surface. The Curiosity rover landed on Mars in 2012. It continues to send data about Mars today. The Perseverance rover landed in 2021. It searches for signs of ancient life on Mars. It also collects rock samples for future return missions. NASA uses robotic landers and orbiters for exploration. The Voyager spacecraft explored the outer solar system. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were launched in 1977. They provided data about Jupiter and Saturn. Voyager 1 is now in interstellar space. NASA also uses space telescopes for observation. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched in 1990. It captured images of distant galaxies and stars. Hubble changed modern astronomy. The James Webb Space Telescope is NASA's newest telescope. It provides deeper views into the universe. NASA studies black holes and galaxy formation. Robotic missions help map planets and moons. NASA has explored moons like Europa and Titan. These missions search for signs of life. NASA uses satellites to study Earth's climate. These satellites track weather patterns. They help predict natural disasters. NASA's Earth observation helps environmental research. The agency studies oceans, forests, and ice caps. NASA's robotic missions reduce risks to humans. They allow exploration of dangerous environments. NASA designs advanced autonomous systems. These systems operate spacecraft without human control. Robotics improve efficiency in space missions. NASA continues to expand robotic exploration. It develops new tools for planetary science. These tools improve data collection accuracy. NASA collaborates globally on robotic missions. The ISS also tests robotics in space conditions. Astronauts use robotic arms for experiments. NASA integrates robotics into future mission plans. Robotic exploration supports human spaceflight goals. It helps identify landing sites for astronauts. NASA uses artificial intelligence in space systems. AI helps analyze large amounts of data. Robotic missions provide continuous scientific discovery.
They extend human reach beyond Earth. NASA's robotic exploration is essential for future space success.
NASA is currently focused on advancing modern space exploration programs. One of its major programs is the Artemis mission. The Artemis program aims to return humans to the Moon. It also plans to establish a sustainable lunar presence. NASA intends to land the first woman and next man on the Moon. Artemis builds on the legacy of the Apollo program. It uses advanced spacecraft and modern technology. The Space Launch System is NASA's new powerful rocket. It is designed for deep space missions. The Orion spacecraft will carry astronauts beyond Earth orbit. These landers will help transport astronauts to the Moon's surface. The Moon will serve as a stepping stone for Mars missions. NASA plans future human missions to Mars. Mars exploration is a long-term goal of the agency. Scientists study Mars to understand its environment. NASA wants to know if Mars once supported life. The Perseverance rover is collecting samples for this purpose. Future missions may bring Mars samples back to Earth. NASA is developing new life support systems for astronauts. These systems are needed for long-duration space travel. The agency is improving spacesuit technology. Modern spacesuits are lighter and more flexible. NASA is also working on deep space communication systems. These systems will support missions far from Earth. The Artemis program involves international collaboration. NASA partners with other space agencies worldwide. Private companies also contribute to space exploration. Boeing is developing crew transportation systems. NASA encourages commercial space innovation. The agency is focused on sustainability in space exploration. It aims to reduce costs and increase mission efficiency. NASA is studying the effects of deep space radiation. This research helps protect astronauts on long missions. The agency uses advanced simulations for mission planning. NASA is developing autonomous spacecraft systems. These systems reduce the need for human control. Artificial intelligence supports space mission operations. NASA is improving satellite technology. Satellites help monitor Earth's environment and climate. They provide data for weather forecasting. NASA's Earth science missions are globally important. The agency studies climate change effects on the planet. NASA also explores exoplanets beyond our solar system. Space telescopes detect planets around distant stars. Scientists search for habitable worlds. NASA aims to understand the origins of the universe. It studies galaxies, black holes, and cosmic phenomena. The James Webb Space Telescope plays a major role in this research. NASA continues to innovate in rocket technology. Reusable rockets are becoming more important in space travel. The agency focuses on reducing environmental impact. NASA promotes STEM education worldwide. It inspires students to pursue science and engineering careers. Outreach programs help connect the public with space science. NASA's future missions will expand human presence in space. It aims to explore deeper regions of the solar system. The agency continues to push technological boundaries. NASA's vision includes long-term space settlement. It seeks to make humans a multi-planetary species. Space exploration remains a core mission of NASA. The agency continues to achieve groundbreaking discoveries. NASA's work shapes the future of humanity in space. It remains a global leader in exploring the universe.